Greetings everyone, this is Corey with Atomic Drones, and I'm bringing you the latest updates on the DJI ban and what's going on with all the hoopla with Rotor Riot. Let's get into it. First story up is the latest on the DJI ban. The Senate has released their NDAA bill, and the Countering CCP Drones Act is not in there. Woohoo! Awesome. This is great news. We have won a victory, everybody. We have won a victory. But however, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has stated that Congress plans to put together a Chinese-focused bill later this year. So we're not out of the woods yet, people, but this is an amazing victory. So awesome. And let's move on to the next story. Is Rotor Riot weaponizing FPV?
It's gonna kill me!
Well, okay then. So back in 2020, Red Cat Holdings acquired Rotor Riot and Fat Shark. Then in November of 2022, Jeff Thompson, the CEO of Red Cat, started a new company. You could call it probably a shell company, but they are called Unusual Machines, and they sold Rotor Riot / Fat Shark to that new company. Controversy comes from a June 21st press release. The press release states that Unusual Machines have been selected to provide the first drone for Red Cat's Phantom line of FPV lethal strike systems. This has stirred up the FPV community, with many calling for a ban against Rotor Riot, as they do not want their hobby weaponized. Drone FPV companies such as Luminaire, who owns Get FPV, and recently they acquired Race Day Quads, DRL, the Drone Racing League, they have all had their hands in the Department of Defense. Rotor Riot, they're not doing anything necessarily new. What has the FPV community in a complete uproar over Rotor Riot is because the end result of their FPV lethal strike quads would be designed to be deployed with armament depending on which branch of the military that is using them, which is quite different than the other companies doing contracts with the Department of Defense, which their drones are more for recon, search and rescue, you know, other non-lethal forms of military use. However, on the bright side of the story is, with Unusual Machines and Rotor Riot, they are going to start developing in-house FPV components. First they are working on is a flight controller, and once these are completed, they will be available to the consumers to purchase for their own drone builds via Rotor Riot web store. So my thoughts are, as much as we would all love to see separation between the hobby and military, that ship sailed years ago with the use of the consumer drones unfortunately being used in the Ukraine and Russia conflict. I mean, that pretty much sealed the gap, right? I mean, every Chinese drone component FPV manufacturer is unfortunately selling to both sides of that whole conflict. So it's almost like no matter what angle you look at it, no matter how you slice it, unfortunately, FPV is being used in war situations, and there are definitely some companies that are profiting off of it. Even though Rotor Riot is hated by many at this moment, Rotor Riot could actually be the savior to FPV, being as they are the very first US in-house FPV company starting to make components. I don't know. There you go. But that wraps it up. That's all I have for today's news updates, and so take it as you will. But until next time, stay atomic!